Good morning. This is Amber Prajapati, and today I'm going to present a case study on NUMI, New United Motor Manufacturing Incorporated at Fremont, California. And it is based on paper by Junior Robert B. Austenfeld, published in 2007 and titled as NUMI, the Great Experiment. So NUMI is an acronym, as I told, New United Motor Manufacturing Incorporated, and it was a joint venture between Toyota and General Motors, which started in '84 and is perceived to have saved the US car industry. In the venture, Toyota had the responsibility to design, engineer Corolla FX and Chevy Nova, and design and the operation of the refurbished plant and to market the FX, whereas GM had the responsibility to market Nova. Again, I mean, this slide shows that the paper title is NUMI, the Great Experiment, and it is given under references, and it's like the first reference mentioned over there. The author is Junior Robert B. Austenfeld, and it describes the story of one of the most interesting experiments in the history of automotive industry in the United States, and it is one of the first transplants of a Japanese auto manufacturer into the American culture. The paper presents an insight how the Japanese have dramatically influenced automobile and other manufacturing in the US. So the challenges that called for a transformation were actually Toyota's interest in getting into US market, build long-term relationships, and to understand the labor unions. At the same time, General Motors had the interest to learn Toyota production system that was producing high quality cars at high competitive prices. So initially, GM Fremont plant, when they started, it was already closed in 1982, and it had the reputation of worst plant of the world, with lowest productivity, abysmal quality, high absenteeism, rampant drug and alcohol abuse. The worker unions were militant. There were wildcat strikes, sickouts leading to plant closure, and there were worst industry relationships. Even the grievances were unresolved, and they were like the count was exceeding 5,000. So, how the foundation of the transformation was laid? So, a close working relationship was agreement was reached between Toyota and the union workers to jointly investigate the work problems and to consult in advance for the layoffs, schedule changes, and major investments. And there was a consensus that they will be able to jointly review any unusual or mitigating circumstances, and they will also be, you know, uh, we knowing in advance of discharges or suspensions. And the team and group leaders, they were sent to Toyota's Takayoke plant in Toyota City near Nagoya, Japan. Finally, the cultural transformation occurred, and this slide presents what those points were. Like there was consensus, consistency, and communication to enhance ownership of decisions. There was emphasis on quality and teamwork by the Toyota management, built-in process quality and employee selection programs for continual improvement, and all employees were having the same uniform, parking, and cafeteria to promote a team concept, and there was no layoff policy. There was uniform pay structure, simplified attendance rules, and workers owned their jobs. And these all things contrasted. They were just not followed. I mean, GM was not practicing any of these. So finally, after that startup was, finally when it got into production, and the results were striking. The NUMI's quality, as you can see in the product quality column, it was like 3.6 to 3.8, which is at par with Takaoka plant, and it far exceeded the earlier GM Fremont quality as well as the Framingham quality. So this information has been taken from a paper by Graphic, who was the one of the earlier employees at that venture, and who became a master at Lean eventually. So after the NUMI startup, in the earlier slide, I presented some statistics. Then other problem was the employee worker morale, and after the startup, we saw the absenteeism getting dropped from 20-35 to just 3-4%. There was no substance abuse, and there was high employee participation from 26 to 92%. I mean, growing to that level, and grievances recorded were just 700 over a period of 8 years. So there was a dramatic change in employee relationship. On the left hand side, I am showing a picture of Chevy Nova from 1986 from the same NUMI plant. There's the image source from where I've taken it, and the paper describes that the workers were proud to say that okay, when they spotted a car coming out of from NUMI, that they helped build this one. So they were really proud of their work. There were some more facts after the startup that it was the worst performing GM facility that became the best performing facility even with the same workers but with a new management and philosophy. So despite initial hiccups, the plant reached break-even in 1991. The yearly production was at peak in 2006 by producing 428,633 vehicles, and by 2010 it had built nearly 8 million cars and trucks since opening in 1984. And obviously it was a groundbreaking model of Japan-US industry collaboration. So some of the key elements of the NUMI production system, which was actually a copy or it was modeled directly from the Toyota production system. The key elements were like Kanban for upstream production scheduling, production leveling was done. You know, the schedule was made for several months in advance with mixed models. There was Kaizen philosophy, which was for continuous improvement of all aspects of production, from consistent worker participation and feedback. There were visual control like Anden board lights that signal quality problems on the line. Jidoka, which stopped the line on quality problem. Pokayoke or error proofing was done to find out the issues. And standardized work that helped execute work procedures with consistent timing, man, material, method, and machinery, which also provided opportunities for workforce engagement, appreciation, and growth. There was team concept and cooperative labor relationships were maintained into, they were organized into small teams of 4 to 6 workers, and there was cross training and rotation. So finally, Toyota discontinued production at NUMI on April 1, 2010, and the primary reason being that GM had already pulled out from June 2009 due to several financial crises that it was facing, and Toyota faced a high cost of business doing business in California, and the location of this plant was far away from Toyota's other plants, and most suppliers were on the other side of the coast, of the east coast, at the other side of the east coast, basically. So at closure, $281 million package severance package was negotiated by the union workers for 4,700 employees of the plant, and plant became a Tesla factory since October 2010 with 100% ownership by Tesla. But by this time, Toyota was well entrenched into the US market with vehicle assembly and component plants already in multiple states. So these are the references that I have used in these slides, and thank you. Hope you got the facts and the transformation clearly laid out in these slides. Thank you. Bye bye.